This isn't a story about a celebrity, a billionaire, or someone who got lucky on TikTok. It's the story of a regular guy who stayed focused, even when things didn't go as planned. Chris Ronzio wasn't born into money. He didn't go viral, and he didn't get some magical overnight success. His journey started in a pretty humble way, delivering pizzas and filming events as a teenager to make some pocket money. But even at that young age, Chris had something special, an itch to build things. At 14, he launched a video production business from his bedroom. Just imagine that. While most kids were still figuring out high school, Chris was juggling clients and learning how to run a company. By the time he got to college, his business had grown massively. He was making six figures, traveling around the country, filming youth sports tournaments, and building a name for himself in a niche market. To anyone watching from the outside, it looked like he had made it. But here's what most people didn't see: the burnout. Chris was young, overworked, and stretched too thin. The business that once excited him had become a source of stress. So in his 20s, he made a tough decision. He sold the company. And for a while, he didn't know what was next. He could have stopped there. He could have gone the safe route, got a regular job, and called it a day. But something inside him still believed there was more. Not flashy, not famous, just more impact, more purpose. As he reflected on his journey, one thing stood out: the systems. What made his first business run smoothly weren't just the cameras or the clients, it was the processes. The checklists, the playbooks, the training systems. It was the boring stuff. But it worked, and that's when the light bulb went off. Chris realized that most small businesses struggle not because the founders lack passion, but because they don't have clear systems in place. So he built a solution: Trainual. Trainual is a software platform that helps businesses document their processes, train their teams, and scale smoothly. It's like creating the instruction manual for your business, everything in one place. Simple, but genius. When he launched Trainual, Chris didn't have investors lining up or media buzz. What he had was clarity, discipline, and a strong belief in solving a real problem. Fast forward to today, Trainual is a company worth over $30 million. It's helped thousands of businesses in over 180 countries. Chris has gone from that teenager filming sports games to a CEO leading a global team. So, what can we learn from his story? First, your starting point doesn't define your future. Chris started with pizza delivery and camcorders, but he never stopped learning, building, and evolving. Second, burnout isn't failure, it's a signal. When Chris hit that wall, he didn't give up on business. He listened to what his burnout was telling him and pivoted towards something more aligned with his strengths. Third, and most importantly, success doesn't require fame or a viral moment. It comes from staying focused, building consistently, and solving problems that actually matter. Chris once said, "Success isn't about giant leaps. It's about a bunch of small, consistent steps, even on the days you don't feel like taking them." And that's the real key. Motivation isn't about feeling excited all the time. It's about showing up anyway, especially when it's hard, especially when it's boring, especially when no one's watching or cheering you on. So if you're working on something, your business, your career, your side hustle, and you feel stuck or invisible, remember this: you don't need to be the loudest. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to stay focused, do the work, and believe in the long game. Chris's story is living proof that you can go far, even quietly. Because real success doesn't shout. It shows up, day after day. And so can you.